My dear friends, as we wander through the twilight of our years, our bodies speak to us in gentle murmurs, hinting at changes that slip past us like shadows in the dusk. Our legs, those loyal companions that have borne us through life's joys and trials, dancing at family gatherings, chasing after giggling grandchildren, or meandering through fields of wildflower, now ask for our care to keep us free, independent, and full of life. But oh, how it shakes the soul to learn that some vegetables, ones we've cradled in our kitchens and cherished for their wholesome promise, might be quietly draining the vigor from our legs, leaving them frail, unsteady, or aching. Let me, with the weathered voice of one who's seen many seasons, weave a tale of 7 common vegetables that, though they were the guise of health, could be troubling our mobility. By the time we part ways, you'll know which ones to tread lightly around, how they might be sapping your strength, and how to fill your plate with foods that lift your legs and your spirit, keeping you steady for all the days yet to come. Let's start with potatoes, that humble root that has warmed countless tables. In my youth, I'd sit by the hearth, savoring a steaming plate of mashed potatoes, rich with butter, or delight in the golden crunch of fries, never sparing a thought for their costs. But age brings wisdom, and now I know they carry glycoalkaloids, natural toxins that lurk especially in those green or sprouted spuds. These can tamper with our nerves, stirring a troubling tingling or weakness in the legs, like when you rise from your rocker and feel your knees falter, as if they've forgotten their purpose. Even the plain potatoes we hold dear, when eaten often or transformed into heavy dishes, chips, fries, or creamy mashes, can work against us. They send our blood sugar spiking, kindling inflammation that chokes the lifeblood to our muscles. When circulation stumbles, our legs grow weary, cramping or aching after the smallest efforts. Tasks that once felt like nothing, strolling to the garden gate or climbing a few steps, become as daunting as a mountain ascent. And those tempting processed forms, fried in oils thick with trans fats and heavy with salt, deepen the wound. Trans fats clog our arteries, slowing the flow, while salt bloats our legs, making them feel as heavy as wet wool. It's a sorrowful truth that a vegetable so woven into our memories could steal the spring from our step. But for us elders, it's a lesson we must hold close. Next, let's turn to eggplant, with its glossy purple skin that once starred in my oven, roasted with herbs or layered in hearty casseroles. I'd serve it with pride, thinking it a gift to my health, a treasure from the earth. But eggplant, like potatoes, is a nightshade, and it carries solanine, a toxin that can unsettle our nerves. For us, whose bodies bear the weight of years, this might mean legs that feel leaden, as if they're dragging through deep sand, or a stiffness that slows our stride. If you've ever found your balance wavering, your steps uncertain, or felt an ache in your knees that lingers like an unwelcome guest, solanine might be at work, disrupting the quiet harmony between your brain and muscles. For those of us with arthritis, whose joints already protest with every move, eggplant can stoke the flames of inflammation, making hips, knees, or ankles cry out with each step. It also meddles with how our bodies take in calcium, so vital for keeping our muscles strong and ready. Without enough calcium, our legs tire swiftly, and simple acts, bending to pluck a weed or rising from a low chair, become a trial. Picture it, a vegetable we've loved, perhaps one we tended in our own gardens, could be quietly undermining the strength we need to move with grace. It's a humbling lesson, one that asks us to look closer at what we eat. Then there's spinach. Oh, how it's been hailed as a miracle grain. I can still hear my mother's voice, firm yet kind, urging me to eat my spinach for strength, promising it would make me as mighty as the heroes in old tales. I'd swallow those leaves, believing they'd fortify me for life's battles. But spinach hides oxalates, compounds that cling to calcium and lock it away, keeping it from nourishing our muscles and bones. Over time, this can leave our legs vulnerable to cramps, those sharp, sudden pains that jolt us from sleep or freeze us mid-step. I felt that tightness in my calves, a stubborn ache that lingers like a storm cloud. And now I wonder if spinach played a part. Oxalates can also burden our kidneys, leading to stones that bring swelling to our legs, making them feel as heavy as sacks of grain. If your ankles puff up by evening, or you notice a strange tingling, like pins pricking your skin, spinach might be more mischief maker than a lie. And there's more. Oxalates can irritate our nerves, slowly eroding the signals that keep our legs steady and sure. To think that a vegetable so praised, one we've piled onto our plates with trust, could drain the vigor from our steps is a bitter truth, but for many of us, it's one we must face. Tomatoes, those bright bursts of summer, bring their own shadows, though they've long brightened our soups, salads, and sauces with their cheerful red. As nightshades, they too carry solanine, which can fin inflammation, especially for those of us with joints that creak like old barn doors. I've woken some mornings with knees so stiff I could scarcely bend them, and now I suspect those tomatoes I cherished, sliced with care for countless meals, might bear some blame. Solanine can weaken our muscles, turning a once easy step into a labored effort, and tomatoes, histamines can cause water retention, leaving our legs swollen and sluggish by day's end. When blood flow is stifled, our muscles go hungry for oxygen, leading to cramps that catch us off guard, stopping us in our tracks as we reach for a jar on the shelf. I've felt that discomfort, a heaviness that makes walking to the porch feel like a pilgrimage. It's a quiet betrayal from a vegetable we thought was a friend to our hearts, one we've simmered into sauces with love. Peppers, with their vivid reds, yellows, and greens, add a lively crunch to our dishes, from crisp salads to spicy stews that warm the soul. But their capsaicin, especially in fiery varieties like Galapagos, can overtax our nerves, bringing a burning or tingling to our legs that unsettles our balance. I've known nights when my legs twitched restlessly, refusing to settle, as if possessed by some restless spirit, and learned that spicy peppers might worsen this, stealing sleep and leaving my legs weaker come morning. As nightshades, peppers also carry solanine, adding to joint pain for those of us with arthritis, making each step a negotiation with discomfort. They can even trigger restless leg syndrome, that maddening urge to move that keeps us tossing in bed, robbing us of rest. Poor sleep weakens our muscles further, raising the risk of a stumble the next day, when we're already weary. It's a pity, for I've always loved their bold flavors, the way they brighten a dish, but they may not return the affection to my weary legs. Beet greens, those leafy tops we blend into smoothies or saute with garlic, seem a wise choice, brimming with vitamins and the promise of health. I used to toss them into my meals, thinking they'd bolster me against the years, but their oxalates, like those in spinach, rob our bodies of calcium, leaving our muscles prone to cramps and spasms. I've winced at those sudden leg pains, the kind that make you freeze mid-step, clutching a chair for support, and now I see beet greens might be part of the trouble. They can also lead to kidney stones, which slow circulation and cause our legs to swell, feeling stiff and sore as if bound by tight cords. For those of us with achy joints, these greens can deepen the inflammation, making mornings a slow, painful start, with knees and ankles reluctant to move. To think that a green so praised, one we've embraced as a fountain of youth, could chip away at our strength is a hard lesson, but one we must learn to keep our legs steady. Lastly, cabbage, a mainstay in my grandmother's kitchen, whether simmered in hearty soups or shredded into crisp coleslaw, carries its own burdens. Its goitrogens can quiet our thyroid, that small gland that fuels our energy and keeps our bodies humming. A sluggish thyroid leaves our legs heavy, as if we're wading through deep water, each step a labor. I felt that fatigue climbing stairs, wondering why my strength slipped away like sand through my fingers. Cabbage's fiber, while a blessing in moderation, can cause bloating when overdone, pressing on blood vessels and making our legs swell and ache, especially after a big meal. It can even tingle our nerves, bringing that unsettling pins and needles sensation that makes standing or walking a cautious act, as if we're treading on uncertain ground. A humble vegetable, one we've trusted for generations, passed down through family recipes. Yet for some of us, it's not so kind. But do not let your heart grow heavy, my friends, for there's a wealth of wisdom we can draw upon to cradle our legs and keep them strong. Fill your plate with foods that soothe inflammation, like salmon or walnuts, rich in omega-3 south that calm the body's storms, or sweet potatoes and berries, bursting with antioxidants that shield us from harm. A sprinkle of turmeric in your soup or a sip of ginger tea can ease the ache in our joints, like a warm blanket on a chilly night. Ensure you're getting enough calcium from milk, fortified plant drinks, or leafy greens low in oxalates, and soak in a bit of sunshine or savor fatty fish for vitamin D. Both are lifelines for our muscles and bones, keeping them resilient against the years. Drink water generously, like a clear stream to keep your blood flowing, and weave in gentle exercises walking through the park, stretching by the window, or trying chair yoga to wake up your legs and keep them nimble. Low-impact joys like swimming or pedaling a bike are kind to our joints while building strength, and simple moves like squats or leg raises, done with care, can work wonders, like tending a garden to coax it into bloom. Choose your vegetables with the wisdom of your years, favoring those that nourish without hidden harms. Lean proteins, healthy fats, and whole foods that lift us up like a song. Steer clear of processed snacks, laden with unhealthy fats and salt, that weigh down our legs like anchors. By making these mindful choices, we can keep our legs as pillars of strength, carrying us through life's joys with grace, whether it's dancing with a loved one or simply stepping out to greet the morning sun. Those vegetables: potatoes, eggplant, spinach, tomatoes, peppers, beet greens, and cabbage may wear a friendly face, but their compounds can trouble our muscles, nerves, and circulation, bringing weakness, cramps, or pain. Yet, with care, we can choose foods that embrace us back, keeping us steady and strong. Start today, my dear ones, with a thoughtful bite and a gentle step. Swap out a troublesome vegetable for a sweet potato, roasted with a touch of olive oil, or a handful of berries, sweet as a summer memory. Take a slow walk, feel the breeze on your face, and let your legs sing their thanks. These small acts, done with love, will weave a tapestry of strength and mobility for the years ahead. Our legs are the foundation of our independence, the roots that keep us grounded yet free to roam. Let's cherish them, nurture them, and carry on with the joy of movement, for there are still, though many paths to tread, so many moments to savor: laughter with friends, quiet evenings by the fire, and the simple gift of a step taken with ease.